Okay, so can you tell me who you are and what you do?
I am Dana Reynolds, and I am the administrative assistant at Grupaya.
Fantastic. And why did you decide to participate in Changemaker Bootcamp?
I wanted to do Changemaker Bootcamp because I'm at a crossroads in my job, and I really want to move to the next level. And so I was hoping to do Changemaker as a way of getting that extra practice, extra experience, just a step in the right direction for what I ultimately want to be doing.
Which is what?
Which is being an organizational development consultant and facilitating workshops and coaching. So I was really looking to just develop my skills.
What were your expectations about bootcamp before you started it?
My expectations for bootcamp was that we were going to be doing a lot of practice, and I was familiar that the focus wasn't on learning, it was more about practice. So I don't think I had like super high expectations or super low. It was just kind of like I knew it was going to be like a practice, like workshop-y, you know?
Okay. And how was the experience for you?
It was good, but I'm sad that I joined later. And I feel like it would have been better if I had joined with when everyone else did on week 1. And I think I would make it that people are not allowed to miss, like, at all. Like, if you're sick. Because it's so short already that it just... Because by the third session that I was in, 2 people were sick, you know? And so then I didn't really get to know them until the 4th, so...
Yeah, so mandatory participation is a change you were trying to make.
I would make it mandatory.
Got it.
And I would make it longer.
Longer, like number of weeks, or how long would you make it?
At least 8. I think 8 is a good number.
Okay.
It's not too much of a commitment, but I think those extra 2 weeks more would have been great.
Okay. So what were your key takeaways from the whole experience? What did you learn?
Oh my gosh, what did I learn? I learned a lot. Really just learning, not just from you, but everybody in the room, which I really valued. I learned about power dynamics, and listening to other people's viewpoints made me think like, I didn't really see it like that, or wow, I'm so glad somebody said that because I totally think that now. But I learned a lot. I think from every practice session we did, I learned about difficult conversations when we had it focus on Marie. I learned from the power dynamics, the meeting design, thinking about space. I was already familiar with thinking about space, but I never really thought about calculating minutes per person, like what that really means for how many people will get to talk. And I found myself saying it actually in our Delta Dialogues calls. Like, if we only do this for 1 hour and we have 18 participants, well then they can only talk for a couple minutes. So stuff like that I was like, I got that from Eugene.
What did you like the most about the whole process?
Being in a group, having not just me there, but everybody being there, and getting to learn from other people, the networking of it, and yeah, I think that's what I like the most.
What do you think could have been better besides making it longer and maybe mandatory attendance?
I don't want to change what boot camp is supposed to be about because I know it's supposed to be about practice, and maybe this is like my own flaw because I'm so used to being taught. I almost wish, like maybe just like even in small parts, that at the end of a session we did kind of like a learning recap, or at the beginning of a session. I don't know, but that's probably because I'm so used to being a student and being in a lecture and hearing somebody, give me information. But and I think Brooking wrote like a little blog post about it on the water cooler, just like how do you make practice like the most effective, and how do you make sure you get value out of practice, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I think for me to get value out of practice is to have that little lecture at the end, like the summary.
Got it.
Summary.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you describe Changemaker Bootcamp if you were telling others about it?
I would tell others that it is exactly what it says it is. It's a workshop. You're working through things while you're there. Oh, actually, one other thing that I would say, I think to change that I would really recommend that people come in with a project that's if it's about groups and group dynamics and like making change in groups, then to have an individual project is kind of weird. Because there were some points when people were sharing and they were like, well, we can really skip over me because mine's really about myself and it's kind of, you know what I mean? And I was like, this is the whole point, I thought, was to pick a project where you're trying to make change in groups.
Right.
And so when people chose individual projects, it was kind of weird.
Right.
Unless we had more tailored curriculum. Like, if you decide to do an individual project, think of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I think they would have got more from it if their project wasn't individual.
Right. Right. Okay.
And then the group would have got more from it if they were able to contribute.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so back to what, how I would explain to other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a workshop, really working on things. Definitely the focus is on practice and practicing your skills, practicing ways to think about it. And for me, we do workouts and things, but it's not limited to just in the room. Like, these are things that you can do outside. These are things that you can do on your own with other people. But it's consciously making an effort and giving yourself that time to practice. Yeah.
Okay. Would you do it again?
I would do it again. And I definitely think it's one of those things where you don't just do it once. I think you would have to. Like, the way it's set up, it's like you should be doing it for a while. Like, re-sign up every year. Because it's kind of different every time, I think. Even if you're doing the same work, you're going to see different things each time you do it. You know? I mean, unless you show the same power dynamic video every single time, and that might be boring, but yeah.
Yeah, I need to get more video clips for that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but there's so many. I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad part of the job, like watching movies to come up with exercises.
I'm really glad, too, that was my first exercise because I was less intimidated. I was like, oh my god, we're watching Dodgeball. I know this movie. So I was happy.
Good.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it to others?
Yes, I would recommend it to others. You, and you. Do it.
What would you say to them about why they should participate?
Just to get the practice, to really focus on your skills, and if you really care about developing your own skills and invest that time in yourself, set that time aside to practice.
Anything else you want to share? Anything you didn't have a chance to say, but you want to just get off your chest about the whole boot camp experience?
No, I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to say. I can't think of anything at the moment, but if I think of something, can I email you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yay!